What's up, YouTube? Not so doing Fairy Tale back today. Finally doing another video. Sorry it's been a bit. I've been busy with work and school and work. Anyway, thought I'd show off my Unite deck because my Unite. I feel like that's kind of a bit of a restrictive term. Anyway, my Gold Paladin deck. So this is what I've been playing for Gold Paladins. It's pretty good. I like it. It's fun. So for our starting Vanguard, we're running Rising Leonet. He's the original Generation Break Gold Paladin starter. His skill is Gen Break 1. Put it into your soul. When your other unit is placed in rear circle from your deck, you can pay the cost. If you do, that unit gets 5k power and then gets a skill. The skill being on hit, counterblast 1, check top 3, call a card from to a rear guard circle, and solve your deck. So there are a lot of people that play Coil, but if you're playing with Unite, Rising Leonet's better. Why? Because Coil, I think that's the name. I'm pretty sure his name is Coil. His skill is like Unite, put him in Soul, check top 3, call something, and that unit gets plus 2k. But the issue with Coil is that Coil's like on the field. With Rising Leonet, you can combo his skill off with Gurguit, and that pretty much it empties up the space. And yes, you're losing a card, but you're getting that unit's getting an extra 5k power. So it's getting an extra stage of power, meaning opponent's gonna have to use an extra card to guard it. And if they don't guard it, then you get a free card anyway. So it ends up just being a net it ends up like being a net zero advantage. So Rising Leonet's just really better, and also makes achieving Unite a lot easier. Then, since we're playing Gurguit, we have 4 Gurguit crits. Not much to say on here. 4 Ultimate Victory because it goes into Soul, and Soul is actually a precious resource in this deck. And then 4 Wheeler because it looks cool, and then 4 Elkia because Elkia's pretty cool. Not much really to say on those. So for Gary runs, I'm playing 4. I forgot his name. This card though, the guy on the far left. He is, oh my gosh, he is so good. Like, I can't even emphasize. We're gonna call him Pierre, the Pierre clone. His skill is Gen Break 1, Unite. So basically, once you start actually, I guess I should explain Unite for anyone who doesn't know. Unite is the Gold Paladin keyword, which it becomes turned on once you've either called 2 cards to your Guardian Circle or 2 cards onto your rear guard circle. And what's cool about him is, like, the second card you call turns on the ability, and which you can build it right away. Which is whenever a card is placed on your guard circle, you choose himself and then the card in the other in the same column as him, and they both get 2k power. And it's pretty nuts. I'll go into like why this is insane. Well, not insane, but why this is amazing when I get into like a combo that you can do. But it helps correct lanes and all that. It adds up. I mean, it's basically 4k to your lane. So if you have like an 18k lane or a 6, that lane becomes 22k. Or if you have like a 15k lane, which is not that improbable in this deck, you'll end up becoming a 19k lane, which is a lot better. And then especially if you have like a 17k lane, you get 21. It's too good. They're playing for the Unite PG. I'm playing the Unite PG because there's another card I use to countercharge, and I mean, this deck kind of has an issue of keeping grade 1s on the field kind of a bit, because you basically just have Pierre clone, and that's kind of it, since Jeffrey's around for 1 turn, and you don't want to call your stride fodders. So this is it gives you a good option of PG to call from your deck, grade 1 to call from your deck, and its skill is Unite. When it's placed on a rear guard circle from your deck, choose one of your other rear guards, put it at the bottom of your deck, and at the end of the turn, this card goes back to your hand. It also combos really, really nicely with another card that I'll get into. 4 Stride Fodder, because it's Stride Fodder, it's a G-Break deck. If you can't Stride, your turn's wasted, so, And then 4 Jeffrey. Jeffrey's skill is Unite. At the end of the battle, after he boosted, you put him in the Soul to draw a card. So basically, you transfer a card from your field to a card in your hand. Since Soul is a precious resource, this is another way to get Soul. Soul is so precious in this deck. I'll get into why in a bit if you don't already know. And I mean, he opens up space on your field to once again activate Unite on your next turn. So our grade 2s I'm playing 4 Payroll. His his skill is counterblast one. When he's boosted, you can pay the cost. If you do, look at your top three, and call something from it to a rear guard circle, and then shuffle your deck. So he's just a +1. I mean, need I say more on him? Then for Perrymore, Perrymore's skill is when it's placed on rear guard circle. When it's placed on actually his Unite skill. I'll go into that first. The Unite skill is an 11k unit, so essentially him and Pierre Clone, you power it up by 4k, and that becomes a 22k column. You power it up by another 4k, becomes 26k column. Yeah, it gets pretty nice. His other skill is when he's placed Gem Break 1, when he's placed on rear circle, counterblast 1, look at your top 3, call one of them, the cards, in the same column as him, and then put the rest at the bottom of your deck, in your order. So he doesn't shuffle your deck, which is, I mean, kind of sucks, but whatever. And he doesn't really, he only can call something in the same column as him, so that's kind of restrictive, but I mean, at worst, he's an 11k attacker. And if you get a Flame of Victory, I mean, you know, you can put in your soul, whatever, get a free soul. Not free, I mean, you counterblast for free. And if you get the other crit, I mean, you know, you can still use it. And then your other triggers are 5k, so it becomes 16k lane, which is not that bad. And then for our last unit, we're running Knight of Faint Maricia. So she has Resist, which is okay, although it's not really relevant. And then her Unite skill is put her in your soul at the end of your turn. You pay the cost. If you do, you countercharge 1. So this is mainly what you use to countercharge. You get soul from her, and I mean, yeah, she's 8k, but Gurgwit gives the unit 2k to make her 10k. Pierre Clone, I mean, he gives 4k to lane, so he 15 to 19. So I mean, it's not a big deal really that she's 8k. And then for grade 3s, I'm running 4 Gurgwit. Gurgwit's Gem Break 2 is Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1. At the beginning of the guard step of the battle that he was attacked, you may pay the cost. If you look at the top 4 cards of your deck, call one of them to the guarding circle, and then shuffle your deck. So basically, you can get a guard for a Counterblast and a Soul Blast, which is pretty nice. It gets around guard restrict. So you can grab a grade 0 from your deck if you need to help guard an attack if you're like, for whatever reason, or you can grab an extra grade 1, you can do things. And I mean, it's a guard for in terms of card advantage, it's a guard for free, so. And then its Stride Break skill is Counterblast 1, look at your top 4, call one to an open rear guard circle. No, call it to a rear guard circle. And then that unit gets plus 2k, so it's a +1. And then for the alternate grade 3, I'm running Dongle. So Dongle's skill is Unite. Unite, he gets Intercept, and whenever he intercepts, he gets 5k shield, so it's pretty nice. And then when he's placed in a rear guard circle until the end of the turn, he gets Boost. So he's a 10k booster, which is also very, very nice. It means, like, calling him, essentially, is never bad. Like, I mean, he's a booster, so no matter where, and he also, I mean, he's a 10k booster, so, like, no matter where you call him, it's never bad, necessarily. I mean, if you call him behind the Vanguard, then that kind of sucks. But there are ways you can get around that, too. So for our strides, running 4 Golden Dragon, Glorious Reigning Dragon. Oh my gosh. People talk about Gurgwit, but this card is low-key pretty freaking good, too. Well, not low-key, but it's pretty freaking good, too. Actually, kind of low-key, yeah, because everyone's like, oh, Gurgwit, but this card lets you do things. So his skill is Unite. Counterblast 1, choose a face-down Persona Flip copy of him, and then choose 2 rear guards and put them at the bottom of your deck in your order. So that's the cost. When it attacks, you pay that cost. If you do, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, search up to the same number of cards from your that are face up in your G zone, and call them to separate rear guard circles, and then shuffle your deck. And if you call 3 or more cards, you countercharge 1 and soul charge 1. So essentially, if you call 3 cards, his cost is soul charging and flipping, which is pretty freaking nice. What's pretty cool too about him is he, like, let's say, and this isn't that uncommon either. Where like you can put something on the bottom of your deck, like you can put like your 2 rear guards at the front, like bottom of your deck, and then you could just like call 3 cards. Like you can just call things over, and then since you call 3 cards, even if you're not gonna boost with the card you call upon your Vanguard, That's still an extra 2K. That's still an extra 4K to your lanes with Pierre clones. So basically, all your lanes gained an extra 12K, which is really really nice. So yeah, he's pretty good. Then running two Gurgowitz. Gurgowit is Unite, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 2. And it's not once per turn, so you can like do it as many times as you want. All your rear guards get 5k power, and then he gets 5k for every rear guard you have. So he's basically Platina Azelon crack. Yeah. He's pretty amazing. He's a really good finisher. I mean, even if your opponent has even if your opponent has PGs, if you pump your lanes by like 10k, that's still by 20k, that's still pretty freaking scary. If you do it twice, like yo, let's see how that one PG is gonna do against my three big ass attacks. I mean, I roll it in two because if you need to go into three, then you're just playing like something's wrong. If you need to go into three, like your opponent must have like triggered all four heals, drew into all four PGs. Like, oh my gosh. So I only play two because you really only need two. Although honestly, I only ever go into him once, but for the most part. But I mean, having the second there is nice. And I mean, if anything, you can just kind of G-assist him away if you need to. Two Golden Dragon, Spear Cross Dragon. His skill is on stride, like when you stride him. Counterblast 2, flip a copy. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and for every card face up in your G zone. Actually, he's Jump Break 2. My bad, he's Jump Break 2. But yeah, he's Jump Break 2. Counterblast 2, flip a copy, and then look at the top 5. For every card face up in your G zone, you call that many cards. So he's basically just like massive plussing if you need it. If like you lost your entire field practically, you can go into him and just get a bunch of free cards. Then I'm running two Scourge Point. Scourge Point, it combos really, really well with Gurgowit. Scourge Point skill is when a unit's called from your deck, he gets 5k and the unit gets 5k. So, I mean, at worst, with Gurgowit's Break Stride skill, you're going to give a unit 7k, two from Gurgowit, 5 from him, and then he gets 5k. So, but he can pump up cards pretty well too, depending on your like what you can do. Then one Campbell. Campbell is just like kind of the best first stride. His skill is on hit, look at top 5, call something to a rearguard circle, and then the unit you call gets 5k, gets 2k. It's alright. It's a decent first stride. Then two Rhea for the G guards. When she's placed on Guardian Circle, if you have 2 or more rear guards, she's 20k, it's alright. The reason why I run her is because, I mean, she's not minus. Well, I mean, she's not as minus as. Like, you're not whatever. I'll go in Flaming Flare. Flaming Flare has a cost of putting a rear guard at the bottom of your deck, and Rhea doesn't have that, so that's why. You don't always want to do that, but Flaming Flare, yeah. His skill is put him at the bottom of your deck. Put a unit at the bottom of your deck. Look at your top 5 and call 2 cards with different grades from your deck to the Guardian Circle. So you can bypass guard restriction and all that with Flaming Flare, so it's pretty nice. And then one Seabreeze because this is Jump Break deck, so we have to run Seabreeze. But yeah, that's pretty much the deck. I like this deck a lot for what it is. In terms of like just being able to use Unite stuff. Unite's kind of like it feels a bit restrictive in a sense, just because like if you have a full field, then you have to call over things, and no one wants to call over things. That's no fun. But I mean, you can if you can just like if you provided you can actually sort of manage your field well, you should be mostly fine for the most part. I mean, you have Marcia who goes back into your soul. You have Dunkel who can intercept. You have Jeffrey who can go away. I mean, and you can just intercept away your front row if you really, really need to with Unite stuff. So it's not a huge deal, but even still. But yeah, anyway, that's the deck profile. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Catch you guys later.